Hello, my channel say that the dim fluorescent lights of the Los Angeles County Women's Detention Center buzzed overhead like a swarm of angry hornets, casting harsh shadows across the cold concrete walls. Luna Nozawa sat on the edge of her narrow cot, her manicured nails snow-chipped and ragged from weeks of confidentaging into the thin mattress. Her heart pounded in her chest, a frantic rhythm that echoed the chaos swirling in her mind. She stared at the barred window, where a sliver of the outside world mocked her with its freedom. But it wasn't escape that consumed her thoughts. No, it was him. Remy. Across town, in the opulent sprawl of the Spencer mansion, Bill Spencer paced the marble floors of his study, a glass of aged scotch trembling slightly in his grip. His sharp eyes, usually self-commanding and unyielding, were clouded with a storm of suspicion. Papers were scattered across his mahogany desk printouts, emails, grainy surveillance photos. Evidence. Damning evidence. Bill's mind raced back to the prison visitation logs he'd pulled strings to obtain. Remy's name stamped there in black and white, visiting Luna not once, but multiple times. And Luna's face during those visits, captured on security footage, not the defiant glare of a woman scorned, but the wide-eyed panic of someone terrified of being exposed. This wasn't just a coincidence. This was a conspiracy. And at the center of it all was Luna's unborn child Bill had believed, until recently, might be tied to his own son, Will. But now Bill's got churned with a darker truth. What if the child wasn't Will's at all? What if it was Remy's? And what if Luna's alleged night of passion with Will was nothing more than a meticulously crafted lie to cover a far more sinister alliance? The bold and the beautiful has always thrived on scandal, betrayal, and jaw-dropping twists. But this was a powder keg waiting to explode. Let's dive deep into the tangled web of Luna, Remy, Will, and Elektra, and explore whether this explosive storyline could truly unfold on the iconic soap opera if it's too dark, too twisted, even for the drama-soaked streets of Los Angeles. To understand the connection between Luna and Remy, we must first examine their shared vendetta against Will Spencer and Elektra Forrester. These two individuals, seemingly unconnected on the surface, are bound by a singular, malevolent goal to obliterate the burgeoning romance between Will and Elektra. Their attacks are not random. They are calculated, vicious, and eerily synchronized. Remy's history with Elektra is a chilling chronicle of obsession. Court documents whispered about in the tabloids and confirmed by Elektra's own tearful confessions paint a picture of a man unhinged. He stalked her for months, lurking in the shadows of Forrester creations, trailing her to galas, and even hacking into her personal devices. But Remy didn't stop at invasion of privacy. His most depraved act, creating AI-generated nude images of Elektra, distributing them anonymously online to humiliate her and shatter her confidence. The psychological toll on Elektra was devastating. She withdrew from public events, her once radiant smile replaced by a haunted expression. Will, ever the protective boyfriend, vowed to shield her, but the damage was done. Then there's Luna. Her assault on Will is a stain on the Spencer legacy, a night that Will can barely recall through the fog of alcohol. Luna, with her sultry smile and calculated charm, had plied him with drinks at Il Giardino, her intentions masked by flirtation. What happened next was a violation of rape that left Will reeling with guilt, shame, and confusion. Luna claimed it was consensual, a passionate mistake born of mutual attraction. But Will's fragmented memories told a different story, a predator taking advantage of a vulnerable moment. And now Luna's pregnancy announcement has thrust this nightmare into the spotlight, with the paternity of her child hanging like a guillotine over Will's head. 2 attacks, 1 couple. The precision of these strikes is too perfect to be coincidental. Remy targets Elektra's dignity, Luna targets Will's future. Together, they form a pincer movement designed to crush Will and Elektra's relationship from both sides. But why? What drives this shared hatred? And how deep does their collaboration run? The most damning clue in this saga lies in the prison visitation logs. Remy, a man with no apparent connection to Luna beyond their mutual disdain for Will and Elektra, visited her repeatedly during her incarceration. These weren't casual check-ins. Security footage reveals Luna's demeanor during these visits, fidgeting, whispering, her eyes darting nervously to the guards. When Remy leaned in to speak, Luna's hand instinctively reached for his across the table, a gesture of familiarity, of partnership. And when Remy left, Luna collapsed back onto her cot, her face a mask of dread. This wasn't the behavior of a woman receiving a friendly visitor. This was complicity. Panic. Luna wasn't worried about Remy's well-being. She was terrified of what he might say or what he might do. Was she afraid he'd expose their plan? Was she fearful that Bill, with his boundless resources and dogged determination, was closing in on the truth? Bill's investigation began innocently enough. As a media mogul and Will's father, he couldn't let Luna's claims go unchallenged. He hired private investigators, pulled strings with law enforcement, and even tapped into his network of informants within the prison system. What he uncovered was a goldmine of intrigue. Not only had Remy visited Luna, but their conversations barely recorded due to prison protocols hinted at a deeper alliance. Phrases like stick to the story and keep Will in the dark were caught in snippets, too vague to convict but too suspicious to ignore. Bill's most shocking discovery, however, came from a forensic analysis of Luna's phone records before her arrest. Encrypted messages, sent to a burner phone later traced to Remy, revealed a timeline that shattered Luna's narrative. The messages predated her night with Will by weeks, discussing the plan and making sure Electra pays. One message, sent the night of Will's assault, read, "It's done. He'll never suspect." Luna's pregnancy, announced shortly after, suddenly took on a sinister new meaning. Luna's pregnancy has been the linchpin of her manipulation, a weapon wielded to bind Will to her through guilt and obligation. She's played the victim masterfully, tearfully claiming that her child is a Spencer, a legacy to be proud of. Will, racked with guilt over a night he can't fully remember, has been torn between duty and doubt. Electra, meanwhile, has stood by him, but the strain is evident. Every ultrasound appointment, every mention of our baby drives a wedge deeper into their relationship. But what if the child isn't Will's at all? What if Luna's night with Will was a carefully orchestrated diversion, a way to pin her pregnancy on a wealthy, influential family while protecting her true partner? The timeline supports this theory. Luna's messages with Remy suggest a relationship that began long before her encounter with Will. Intimate, secretive, and fueled by mutual resentment, Luna and Remy could have been lovers partners in both passion and crime. Imagine the scene, Luna and Remy huddled in a dimly lit apartment, plotting their revenge. Remy, consumed by his obsession with Electra, rants about her rejection, her success, her happiness with Will. Luna, nursing her own grudges against the Spencer family, sees an opportunity. A Childrumy's child could be the ultimate weapon. But to pull it off, they need a fall guy. Will, young and impressionable, is the perfect target. Luna seduces him, drugs him, and stages the encounter to look like a drunken mistake. The pregnancy, already underway, is attributed to Will. Remy stays in the shadows, pulling strings from afar. Bill's evidence points to this exact scenario. DNA tests, which Luna has delayed with endless excuses, could confirm Remy's paternity. But more than that, Bill has uncovered a paper trail, hotel receipts, shared Uber accounts, and even a joint purchase of pregnancy tests weeks before Luna's night with Will. The pieces are falling into place, and Bill is determined to expose the truth before Luna's lies destroy his son's life. The bold and the beautiful has never shied away from controversy. From Brooke's endless romances to Sheila's reign of terror, the show thrives on pushing boundaries. But a storyline involving rape, stalking, AI-generated revenge porn, and a conspiracy to frame an innocent man? That's a new level of darkness, even for a soap opera. Let's break it down. The show has tackled sexual assault before, notably with Maya and Rick, but Luna's rape of Will is a bolder, more provocative plot. It flips the gender script, forcing viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about power dynamics and consent. Remy's stalking and AI-generated images, while disturbingly modern, align with the show's history of obsessive villains like Sheila or Quinn. And the paternity twist? That's classic B&B, echoing the drama of Ridge's many children and Brooke's baby daddy sagas. The real question is execution. Could the writers balance this intensity without alienating viewers? The show would need to handle Luna's assault with sensitivity, giving Will a platform to process his trauma. Electra's arc would require empowerment, perhaps culminating in her taking down Remy legally. And Bill, the ultimate patriarch, would need to be the hero, unraveling the conspiracy with his trademark bravado. The drama would be electric. Imagine the confrontations, Bill storming into the prison, slamming evidence on the table in front of Luna. Remy cornered, lashing out in a fit of rage. Will grappling with betrayal, demanding a DNA test. Electra standing tall, refusing to be a victim. The courtroom scenes, the tabloid frenzy, the Spencer Forrester showdown sits a goldmine of conflict. Picture this, the Spencer mansion, a stormy night, thunder rumbling outside. Bill gathers Will, Electra, Liam, and Katie in the living room. In his hand, a manila folder stuffed with proof. Luna's been lying, he declares, his voice booming. This baby isn't yours, Will. It's Remy's. And they've been working together from the start. Gasps echo through the room. Will's face crumples, a mix of relief and rage. Electra's eyes harden with resolve. Liam, ever the skeptic, demands details. Bill lays it out, the prison visits, the messages, the timeline. He reveals a final bombshell, a DNA test, conducted covertly using a sample from Luna's prison medical file, confirming Remy's paternity. The fallout is cataclysmic. Luna, in her cell, receives a visit from Bill himself. It's over, he growls. The world's going to know what you and Remy did. Luna's facade cracks, tears streaming down her facade of remorse, but of defeat. Remy, meanwhile, goes on the run, but Bill's resources are vast. A manhunt ensues, with Electra testifying against him, her strength inspiring viewers. In the end, Will and Electra emerge stronger, their love tested but unbroken. Luna faces additional charges for conspiracy and fraud. Remy is arrested, his obsession finally his undoing. And Bill, he stands tall, the Spencer empire intact, his son's future secured. This storyline, with its layers of deception, trauma, and redemption, is tailor-made for the bold and the beautiful. It's bold, it's beautiful, and it's brutally dramatic. Luna and Remy's alliance, their shared vendetta, and the paternity bombshell would keep viewers glued to their screens. Bill's investigation, Will's journey, and Electra's resilience would provide emotional depth, while the twists and turns would satisfy the show's thirst for shock value. Could it happen? Absolutely. Will it? That's up to the writers. But one thing's certain, if the bold and the beautiful embraces this saga, it'll be one of the most talked about arcs in soap opera history. Luna and Remy's secret connection, exposed by Bill's relentless pursuit of truth, would redefine the stakes of love, betrayal, and family in Los Angeles. And for fans, it would be a roller coaster worth riding. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe my channel for more updates on the bold and the beautiful.